workshop so that I could learn and share with the other women.
So it's a short personal story. You use your own voice to tell it and your own photos, and you put it together with inexpensive
So the idea was to
hardware, software.
take them through the process of drafting, revising, recording, and producing their own stories in 4 days.
One of the complaints that comes up from the women's groups repeatedly is that they don't have any way of telling their own stories. They're tired of the media reports that they'll hear about from the United States, and they wanted the ability to tell their own stories in their own words and work for rape accountability and prevention on their own terms. And to that end, we went down to run a workshop in partnership with COFAVIV that gave women the tools and the skills that they needed to create what are called digital stories. And a digital story is just a short video that takes a person's narrative, their written story about, it could be personal, it could be an issue that they're trying to draw attention to, and you record your own voice, use your own images to make a short, compelling video. And at the end of the workshop, each of the women had their own video about their own experience, and they're using those now as tools for advocacy in their own community.
If you imagine you're doing a kind of a train-the-trainer workshop, you have to teach them both how to get to the product, which is a matter of writing skills, and story skills, and technology skills, but you also have to teach them about how to manage a group like that.
I think once somebody gives you that permission and gives you a tool like a pen and a paper or a camera or a microphone, it's okay to tell your story. Here's the time to do it. Sit down, do it. And I think when that door was open, given the chance, they will immediately raise their hand and tell their story.
In some ways it feels like it could be such a monument. Images are so powerful, and so, you have this shapeless morass of feelings, and then you create this story to kind of define your relationship to a moment in your life.
To working with women who weren't necessarily that advanced with the technology, but making sure that the technology wasn't going to be a barrier to them telling their stories. And that's, I think that's the common element for digital storytelling in general, to make sure that the technology is only a tool and is going to be helpful in the process without it preventing people from being able to connect to their audience, their eventual audience, by telling their story personally.
There's so much you can get out of a digital storytelling workshop. You can get a product, that's for one thing. You can, have an emotional net positive from it. You can team build, you can learn software. I remember on the first day when we just asked around the group, a couple of them said, I love to write. It's one of my favorite things. And that's when I heard that, I was like, oh great, this is good. Yeah. There's the interpersonal part of it, but there's also the logistical part of it. Something about sweating with them in a room for 7 hours a day. That you eat lunch, you're there with them all day. There's downtime when you're chatting with them. So that's definitely a part of the process that's important.
By sharing their personal stories, they were ultimately going to have some resolution, some therapeutic moment that came out of it, which that's common.
After many days of working on the projects and going through full scope of emotion with all the participants, on the last day when the women were sharing their projects and they were projecting them on the wall, and there was excitement and there were critiques, but at the same time outside on the courtyard, the security team was training and going through a training session, and the windows were open. It was like 110 degrees in the room, but they were outside training. The women were inside sharing their stories, and it was this very vibrant experience. You could see the great work that was being done at COFAVIV.